Hi, it's Khandie. It's a really big day today. I've got a massive shoot happening at the local museum here. I've got a load of ladies coming in, vintage attire that they wear. They live and breathe vintage. Vintage aesthetic, not vintage values. And they will be representing sort of Northampton history. It's one of these big things I want to do every quarter for my own personal portfolio. There are so many ladies who've volunteered. We've just sadly lost one because she's become poorly. But we have 6 going. I'm going for a very fine art look. I will take you along. This is taking quite a bit of organisation and logistics, so I hope you enjoy. So everything is loaded into the car. Assistants come in. One of my assistants is sadly ill. Hopefully no one's going to show up, but I told them they didn't have to if they didn't want to, because there's quite a lot of people in the room, and although COVID restrictions have been lifted, I want everyone to feel comfortable. I've done a test and all the ladies are clear, so yeah.
First up here we have Melanie, and you can see that I've got a 2 light setup, 2 very large umbrellas, one above her and then one slightly to the side, feathered, to give this sort of very soft, fine art, I hope, look. You can see the assistant in the back there and Howard, one of the main guys at the museum. Melanie's a really good person to photograph, really funny, really nice. So this is the raw with the velvet 56 from Lensbaby, which I then edited, and here is the final image. I like the fine art, kind of muted colours, love it. And here is another one for you. This was on the 24-70 though. Here's another model for you. Isn't she beautiful? I love it. Little fact, that handbag's actually made from telephone cord, which is just cool. I switched between the 24-70, the Velvet 56 and the 85mm to get different looks. But yeah, love them. Same settings as before, pretty much for our. We now have Shirley, who's possibly the most funnest person to photograph in the world. But I just want to show you now, here I am using the modelling light, so I can see where the light's falling, which is why the camera's having a bit of trouble focusing. Shirley's really good. I love this jacket, and I really wanted to highlight that, as you can see from this shot, just how she posed, gave really strong images, and it's kind of captured in the final ones, and I love it. She looks so cool and just superb, and it shows her personality. So here you are seeing me using my hand in which to direct the model where to position her head for the light. I often put my hand out, sort of say, look at my hand, and I can move it back and forth to give them some guidance, and I think it really helps, especially with newer models. When you're doing black on black, you can see here, you need to make sure you got some separation light, which is what that second light gave me, so she wasn't lost against the fireplace. So this lady started out in this sort of setup. It was really good, but it was missing something, and then her assistant brought over this faux fur coat, and I think that really nails it. So good. That hat though, yes. This is beautiful Jilly. I love Jilly. I've photographed before. Look at that posing. She's a queen. I really love it, and thank you, Jilly, for taking part. Not actually one of my models, but an assistant, but look how good she looked. And then the obligatory group shot. This is Howard, actually, from the museum himself. Before going on to the final group shot, each lady had to be individually lit, and then they were composited together, if you like. So my assistant had a lot of running around to do, and I had to put everything on a tripod. This is a great idea in group settings. So then it was on to the evening wear round, and while most of these ladies had their own, there was a supplier for some of them. All the details for the ladies and the supplier are below, so please go check them out. Beautiful red dress. I wanted this painterly effect, so I kept the lighting quite similar. I did move it so it was a little bit more overhead, and used the reflector that you see here to bounce some light in to get catch lights. Mel actually has a tiara on because she is the Duchess, and I love these pictures of her. Painterly, kind of timeless, still with personality in them, and yes, that is real champagne. I just wanted to make sure that the light was consistent across all of the images, but also be flattering for the subjects and the matter in which I was photographing. I didn't want it to be so stark that it took away from the outfits, but also it highlighted the outfits. So I used quite large umbrella softboxes, as you can see there. There was 2 of them with the reflector, which I think worked in great combination. There's Jilly posing like a queen. There's a lot of noise and commotion now once the champagne had been flowing, so yeah, it's really good. And obviously the lighting had to flatter everybody, and I think it really did work here. Jilly's eyes are so sparkling, and I love that you can really see the catch lights. The other thing is, this lady was wearing a wig at this point, although you can't tell, and I think it really helped that the soft lighting didn't catch any of the highlights which you sometimes find in wigs. She had beautiful hair anyway, but she wanted to have this style, so you can just see here it's quite shiny but not overly shiny, so you can't tell it's a wig, which I love. That dress is so lovely on her, and this dress was probably one of my favourites. This lady had just come back from seeing Dita Von Teese, the burlesque queen herself, but I really love the lighting, and you can see in her picture that I take at the end here that that painterly effect really does come into play, and she has just the most beautiful facial structure for this. Those cheekbones, all the ladies did, and I just loved that they were so different, so much personality, and I really enjoyed this. Now it's time for the final group session, which is where we had all the ladies sat down or stood up in various positions, quite similar to the group shot earlier. You can see me now going around, with permission, adjusting rings and dresses and stuff on the ladies, because I needed to make sure everything was sort of ready to go. I didn't want to have to delay this shot for much longer. We were already quite the way through the day, and the ladies were really cool. The idea of having them at different levels and different angles was to keep the interest in the photo, which you'll see in the final one. The light has changed a little bit. I've got it more forward facing onto them. There's still a slight angle light here, but you'll see now I get my assistant to go around and just bounce a little bit of light individually into the ladies, because once again I'm going to make a composite out of this to ensure that I get the best light on all of the ladies going round. But doing his best to do the reflector, but I'm very fussy, as you'll see, going around it. It's really good. Obviously I took a blank shot as well without anybody in, so I can use that as, if you like, a base to build upon. It didn't take too long in Photoshop, so if you are going to do it, I highly recommend it, but bring an assistant because it makes the job a whole lot easier. So in total these images were compiled of 14 each, and a little bit of tweaking with the poses, and I really like them. Hi, so it's Khandie. That's a wrap on our shoot here. The ladies are all packing up. It's all been done. It's been a pleasure. All the girls have been amazing. All their details are in the description below. Please give them a follow. As ever, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell button. I'll see you all real soon. Please follow the ladies. They've been immense. And Abington Museum, thank you so much for letting me use your facilities.